Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hot Mic with Lady She podcast. I'm your host, Lady She. I'm excited about tonight's episode with Miss Queen Shibivia. She is my 11th Shero. I'm like happy and sad at the same time. This series has been so amazing. I mean, we all know that we see different events. We see all the churches doing things. We see organizations doing things for Women's History Month, but I feel so honored that these women thought it not robbery to take out time to share their stories, to share their journeys, to share their business expertise and different things on this platform, this very new platform. So just want to say thank you to all the ladies who have come on thus far. My prayer is that, this will not just help me to grow and the audience to grow, but to also, bring light to whatever it is that you are, your businesses, your organizations, or whatever it is that you would like to put out there for people to assist you with, or, to help you grow your business. That's the purpose of this platform, which is why God gave me, She's 3 E's, which is to educate, empower, and to encourage. So tonight we have none other than the legally blind. What is it? The legally blind? What is it? What do you call yourself? What
the
do you call
legally
yourself?
clueless, the legally clueless entrepreneur.
The legally clueless entrepreneur. Listen, just because of how fun the name is, I know I'm about to have a good time. So listen, everybody, welcome Miss Shanice Bryant, aka Shibivia of the BNB Boss Basics. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited to be here.
And she got the nerve to be pretty, y'all. She's so pretty. All right,
Thank
so
you. This is sweet.
I'm just gonna jump right in. First of all, okay, I don't know why she don't want to use the name Shanice because I just happen to have to be my name. So I'm feeling some type of way
No,
about that.
no, you can absolutely use Shanice. A lot of people think it's pretty and everything. It's just that growing up,
Right,
um, my family just called me by my middle name. So
right.
Shibivia is actually one of my middle name. It's a part of my name.
Yeah.
And it's unique. I mean, if you Google Shibivia, I'm like the only person that types it, like the only
Love
one.
that.
So,
Love that.
I
Love that.
love
What does it mean?
it means child of love. It's from I believe West Africa. That's where the name is from.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Miss, we're gonna call her Shibivia because that's what she calls herself. All right, we're gonna be respectful. All right. So Miss
Right.
Shibivia, who is Shibivia? What comes to mind when you're asked that question?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like I said, like you said before, I call myself the legally clueless entrepreneur. I'm at heart an entrepreneur. I've tried so many different things. I'm always trying a different side hustle, and that's just it's just me. I
Right.
like going out there and doing things on my own, making my own money on my own time. But right now, in addition to that, I am also still a flight attendant, so I'm still in the workforce in a sense, right?
Right.
I'm also a reservist in the U.S. Air Force as well.
Thank you
And
for your service.
currently, thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, and currently, I just enjoy sharing side hustle gems on my platform. I actually, right now, help others on their entrepreneurial journey, with their business journey. Currently doing like consulting and helping people grow their Airbnb business, starting it, and all of that good stuff.
Love it, love it, love it. That is absolutely one of the reasons that I wanted you to come on. As we were sharing, off the air, there's a lot going on. People want to be okay. People want to be okay. People want to be able to trust, where their funds are going. They want to be able to trust that the encounters that they're having with business owners or consultants and things like that is genuine, and it's going to grow their money or give them the confidence to be able to start that business. It's not easy to jump out there and start a business. It's just not. Like, I love that you have, I believe it's in your bio, you put risk taker or something to that effect. You are literally taking a risk, starting a business or venturing out to do start an organization and things. So is that a part of your personality where you're just like, this is me, I found this out and I'm just going to jump out there and learn how to do it? Is it a thing where you're natural at researching, or how did you start?
Yeah, that's a great question. I like to say that I'm the type of person who, I'll start something and then I'll really figure things out later.
Mm.
For number one, I get bored really easily. So I'm always trying something else.
That's
But
me
for
too.
two, yeah, for two, you probably heard this term before, like analysis paralysis, right? Where you
Yeah.
spend the time to analyze too much and then like never get
Let me
started.
get started.
So yeah, I don't like to be in that place. So if I learn about something, I'm a researcher. I like to read, I like to research stuff. I just like to look things up and learn new things, right? And learn new strategies and all of that, whether it's business ideas. And if it sounds like something that may suit me, that may work for me, I'm okay with trying it. Okay. I mean, the worst that can happen is I try it and I don't like it. Okay. Or
Right.
it doesn't work out. Like that's just really the worst that can happen.
Hmm.
You kind of have to somewhat know your risk tolerance in a sense,
Right.
right? You don't want to go too crazy. But I'm just that type of person. I'll start now and then I'll figure it out later. For me personally, I don't believe that I have to have everything all together or,
Right.
know everything to even start. Like, I find that I grow so much and I learn so much when I just start a thing and I just learn along the way. So I've always been that way, ever since I
That's
can
great.
remember.
Right.
Yeah,
So do you think,
absolutely.
how did you grow up? Because sometimes that kind of stuff comes from, the childhood where they're like, you can do anything. And that's innate. It becomes a part of you where that's what you carry as an adult. So what was your childhood environment like?
Well, yeah, that's a good story. So, or good question, I should say. I grew up really in Jamaica, right? I was born and raised in Jamaica. I came here when I was 18.
Oh wow.
And yeah, growing up in Jamaica, like the culture is somewhat like as teenagers, you do a lot of adult stuff in a sense. You're responsible for yourself for the most part from a
Yeah.
very early age. Like
Hmm.
it's very different here where, children, they just have their parents doing things for them until they're like, their 20s. In
Yes.
Jamaica, as far as I know, the culture, that I'm used to, it's very different. You kind of have to um you're kind of forced in a sense to be mature,
Hmm.
from an early age. So I grew up in Jamaica. My mom was living in England since I was like 7 through like 17. So I lived with my grandmother at one point until I was like 9, I believe. She passed. Then I lived with my dad and my other grandmother on his side. So I was kind of like by my dad's side, my grandma, my aunts, and stuff like that. And I had to basically just do a lot for myself,
Right,
at an
right.
early age. There's a lot of things that I had to do. Yes, I had to support, a
Hmm.
family, but I just kind of had to be mature. And it probably stemmed from that, to just
Yeah.
have to go out there and kind of
Yeah.
get your own. So,
Yeah, I feel that. I believe that. I believe like because when you grow up in that way, it also teaches you to not give yourself excuses. You know what I mean? It
right.
gives you
Yes.
you start to understand like, okay, well, I got to push through. I got to do this thing.
Yeah.
Like they didn't
And
support me, but they're not going to do it for me. So let me go and do it.
exactly. And what's funny? I was just thinking back. I think my grandmother mentioned it too the other day, but I was always that girl who I was that friend. I was that family member that had the money. Like people knew they could come to me and be like, "Can I borrow,
Mm-hmm.
this money?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I always got money from, but I always had money somehow, right?
It
To
was the work
lend or to
ethic. The
give.
work ethic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was the work ethic. They're like, I know she doing something that she making some money. I love that. That's awesome. All right, so you have this work ethic. You don't mind taking risks. You don't mind researching to learn this thing. How did you get to a place where you're like, I want to get involved? Was it something where you were like, I want to be involved in real estate, but I know there's different ways to do it? How did you get into starting, BNB Boss Basics? Where did this come from?
Yeah. So a few years ago, so in 2018, right? I had a property. I was like 23, and I just shared my age a while ago. Look at that.
Do it, yay.
Anyway, yeah, so I was 22 at the time. I bought my first property, and everything. I was working a full-time job at this credit union and everything. And I needed to make some extra money, okay? I don't
Okay.
know if I needed to make some extra money or I just love making extra money. But at the time I was like I was trying to like do some extra stuff with the house and I just felt like I needed to make some extra money. I was trying to pay some other things off as well.
Hmm.
And so I looked up Airbnb and stuff like that, or somehow I came across it. But at that time, I thought that Airbnb was only like for homeowners, right? If you have a home, you can host people in your spare room or something like that. I
Right.
didn't really know much about it.
Mhm.
And so I was like, okay, it's just me. I have a spare room, I'm not using it or anything like that. I'm away all the time because I used to drive, I think like an hour and back, to and from work. And I was like, I'm hardly here anyway, so I'm just going to put the extra room on Airbnb. But there's a thing though, at the time when I decided to do that, I literally, this is why I say that I'm the type of person that I'll start something and then figure it out later,
Yeah.
like literally, okay? So at the time when I decided to do that, I did not even have a bed in the room, okay? I,
So like
I
they
didn't
figure it
have a bed
out.
in the, exactly. So didn't have the bed, and I was like, I'm not even gonna really spend money to buy the bed. So what I did was I bought a queen size air mattress, right?
Okay.
And did it up nicely, did the room nicely and everything. The room was still nice, but I put it on Airbnb and I explicitly put it in the descriptions though, so that people are aware, before
Okay.
they come that listen, this is an air mattress,
Right.
okay? So I I made sure to make that explicit. And but anyway, people were booking, right? As soon as I put it up there, I put some nice
Wow.
pictures up there. I just used my phone. And people were booking. People stayed and people were leaving me 5-star reviews and everything. And some of these people too, I built a good relationship with them as well. And yeah, they left me five
Relationships.
star. Yeah. Yeah, but except for this, I mean, this one guy, he did leave me a decent review, but funny story is that the air mattress had popped while
Ooh.
he was there. Yeah. But I did end up buying another one that same night. He mentioned it in review, but he still left me a good review though. But at that time, it really showed me like, wow, you would think, and this is 2018. It's not even
Right.
like it was so far back. Like,
Right.
you know, it shows you that you can really, it's nothing to overthink, especially with
Right.
starting Airbnb and stuff like that. Like people will book, and I
Right.
was surprised that I was getting bookings left, right, and center,
That
honestly.
is
And so,
something.
yeah, that's how I first stumbled upon it. And then I stopped doing it for a while. I just decided to get like a roommate at the time because I was always flying. I started, flying for my new job and stuff like that. And so I didn't know the business aspect of it where I can actually run an Airbnb
Continue. Right.
business,
Hmm.
yeah, without being there and all of that. I thought, oh, I had to be there to check the person in and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
I didn't really know much at that time. So I just decided to just have a roommate, another young lady who was going to college, and then a few years after that, that's when I decided to take it seriously.
Okay. I love that. See? That's from grandma, dad, mom. Like, listen, get to your money, girl. We're not gonna baby you. We better get out there. I love that. That is so dope. So you went from realizing, oh, let me see if this will work. Oh, it's working. So let me figure out how I could do it better and how I can keep doing it. So
Yeah.
then what? Wait, first let me ask this. So you were saying, you had a job, and you had this home. Let me see. I'm from New York, so or what it seems. So you can correct me. You're from Texas, right?
No, I lived in South Jersey. I just moved to Texas actually last year.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool,
So
cool.
I can get into that story too if you want, but yeah.
Sure. Listen, I'm here for it. What happened? What happened?
Okay. Yeah. You were gonna ask me a question, I thought.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you in reference to owning a home. People claim or try to say rather that New York is so expensive. I thought you were in Texas. That's all I was going to ask the question. How was it
Yeah, I
getting your
am in
own home?
Texas.
Right, you're in
I'm
Texas
in
now, but
Texas, but
when
oh,
you had
New
the home,
Jersey. I was in New
yeah.
Jersey. Oh,
So what
how
was
was it
that like? The
acquiring a home?
process, yeah, of acquiring the
Okay.
home.
It actually wasn't really bad, honestly. At the time, at 23, fortunately, I had, pretty good credit and stuff like that.
Okay.
That was credit worthy enough in order to acquire a mortgage, and I had like a stable job. So,
Okay.
and I just found myself a really good realtor that really hustled. She
Right.
really that's actually the key. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
really looking to find a property, especially right now. So right now we all know that the market is, very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do find yourself a really good realtor, right, who is going to hustle, it can work. But that's what I did. I found a really good realtor at the time, and it the process wasn't really as bad, honestly.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't hard.
All right.
I was somewhat in a rush as well, I'll be honest with you. I was in an apartment, and the lease was coming up, and I didn't want to
Got you.
renew
I
it
knew
and
it.
all of that. So I kind of like rushed and kind of settled on a property because I just didn't want to renew my lease. And I
Right,
was
right.
like, I'm done paying rent. I just want to find a home. But fortunately, my realtor was really good, and she was able to, find a deal in a short period of time.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All
Mhm.
right, so get the home. You're like, let me just see what happens. I'm gonna put this room on there. Okay, that was working. Then you're like, you know what? I'm not home a lot. Let me get the roommate. So now, how did you get to the place where you're like, I want to continue doing this? How are you doing the actual Airbnb business?
Mhm. So I'll start with how I first when I decided to really continue. So after that, maybe about a year or so after, or 2 years after, I got married and everything, and I stumbled across something.
I
I
love
stumbled
love.
across I know, right? I stumbled across a video or something, or was reading something, and somebody had like mentioned it, right? Probably YouTube University, probably. Um, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, that sounds like something that could be doable.
Mhm.
And so the type of house that I have, or had, well, I still have it and still being, Airbnb'd out and everything. It's like a cute little house, right? And like the decor and everything, it's just really cute. It's somewhere that you step into and you kind of want to stay there.
Mhm.
So it almost seemed like the house was already like staged and everything, right? And I was like, okay, what we can probably do is Lord bless my husband, because I suggested this crazy idea to him, and he kind of ran with it. He was okay with it. I was like,
So
okay,
let's
look,
go,
what if,
boo.
right? I was like, okay, what if we decide to move everything out, like all our extra stuff, clothes, whatever, all the extra things in the kitchen, and decide to move it in our garage. And both him and I, we always wanted to move to Texas at one point in life, right? So I was like,
Nice.
and for my job, yeah, for my job is very flexible. I can really live anywhere I want to, literally,
Right.
anywhere in the world. And so I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to move to Texas, like especially like the Dallas area. And you know, himself, he also wanted to move to Dallas at one point in life. And so we were like, you know what? Let's move everything out of the house, put it in the garage. But here's the kicker though. We decided to put like an extra bed, right? I have this in my book and everything. It's a crazy story, but that's what we decided to do for like 2 weeks or something like that, until we we're able to find something in Texas and just relocate, right?
Right.
So literally less than 30 days, we decided to relocate. So we stayed in the garage for a little bit because as soon as we put it on Airbnb, as soon as we posted it and everything, we got our professional photographer that came out there. He did such an amazing job. As soon as we posted it, within 24 hours, we were just getting inquiries and bookings left, right, and center.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had to, we stayed in the garage for like 2 weeks, literally, and then we decided to move to Texas and just
That is
expanded
so
from there.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
So with your Airbnbs, you own all of them.
No, not all of them. Actually, I'm happy that you mentioned that because that's what we're actually in the process of doing. We're in um, communication with like hard money lenders and stuff like that that we're like approved with. So we're looking to for the next units that we plan on acquiring, we plan on owning those in the
Nice.
next few. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you do have some that you are renting out.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So now let me ask you this. Is the whole thing of Airbnb friendly? Is that a thing? Do you know what that is? And if so, is that something that you are utilizing, or is this, or you renting the properties that you're renting? Is that connected to relationships that you have that you're able to do it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So um not necessarily relationships, it's just all being Airbnb friendly. It's just having that communication, so whether with landlords, because I actually have connection with landlords and I've had landlords who have been completely open with it, and so that's why I like to tell people don't be afraid to reach out to landlords, okay,
Right,
because
right,
there are
right.
people out there who just really want to rent their property. I
Yeah.
remember I connected with this landlord some time ago, a few months ago, and we told him about our business model, right? And he was 100% okay with it. He was like, as long as, we take care of the property and we pay, the rent on time and everything, he was fine with it. So
Right.
there are people out there who are willing. The thing about that though is sometimes people may ask for a little bit more, like they may want a percentage, maybe, you
Okay.
know, yeah, small percentage, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can offer a little bit higher or a little bit more, you know, based on what the market, based on what that area, the market of that area rents for,
The
and
location. Right.
yeah, if you feel like an additional $100 or $200 is not going to hurt,
Right.
then why not? So that's one way to do it. And with apartments, some apartments will tell you straight up that if this is an Airbnb, then we don't want to do it.
Right.
And some apartments they don't really care. You
Okay.
know, yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So now, because this is working for you, is that what had you say, listen, let me teach other people how to do it? Like, how did you start, the other business that you're doing? Let us know let us know what all Shibivia is doing, honey. We want to know.
Yeah.
The people got to know.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I literally was just sharing my journey. So my intention was not even to really, coach people on this kind of stuff. But I was just sharing my journey with people and being excited about it and telling people what I was doing and everything. And so people actually started reaching out to me and telling me, hey, I will pay you to, show me what you're doing, teach me what you're
Right.
doing and stuff like that. And so that's one of the reasons I decided to just I created this book, right? It's a simple to read book, very simple to read, but it literally breaks down, like exactly how you can start and have conversation with landlords or leasing apartments, the apartments
Mhm.
and stuff like that, how you can automate your business, stuff like that. That way, I can literally just be like, here, okay, if you want
Right.
an idea of how to start, just read this book. It's simple
Mhm.
to read, and you may be able to literally start your Airbnb just reading the book, right?
Right.
But then I decided to do an online course because I'm a sharer. Okay. I love to share information and all of that stuff. And so I was like, let me create an actual course
Yes.
That way it's more interactive and I can actually show you step by step the breakdown of how to do stuff, what I'm doing, like exactly what I'm doing. And so that's how I really started
Right.
doing that and helping people on their journey.
I love that. And you also help them with business credit. Talk to us about that.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Like, I might need to call your phone later on about the business, because I feel like I'm losing out on a lot not using business credit. So talk to us
Mhm.
about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, today there's just so many people who are looking to start their business, grow their businesses and all that, right? People are quitting their jobs.
That's a fact.
People don't want, yeah, people are not trying to be bothered really so
Nope.
much, right? With nine to
Mm-mm.
five, especially if they're not really seeing the worth out of it, or they don't feel like they're getting paid what they're
Right.
worth,
Mhm.
especially. And so, but one thing sometimes we forget about, the aspect of starting and growing a business is also building business credit, right?
Right.
Using, capital and all of that. You have to start from somewhere, right?
Right.
Every business has to start from somewhere. Like Apple, started in the garage.
Hmm.
So you have to start from
Amazon
somewhere.
in his basement or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but the beautiful thing with business credit though is that it just gives you so much leverage, right? And it helps you to grow so much more, with acquiring fund and all of that. And it's not that hard. It's not really that difficult, simple to do once you really just apply the steps, right? I just did a video the other day, I think on my YouTube channel, about the steps to take to start building business credit, right? So
Mhm.
most importantly, you want to make sure that, of course, you have your business structure, and then you want to get a Dun and Bradstreet profile, right?
Yes.
Which that's simple to do as well. And you can literally just start with a net account. So the thing is, I know a lot of people want to do like no personal guarantee type of loans and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
And it's very rare. Uh, there are companies that are out there, which I share all the time. However, the reason why it's so rare, no personal guarantee loans and stuff like that, is because, companies, when it comes down to small businesses, they don't want, they're just basically afraid of the risk,
Right. Right. Right.
really. So, and it's okay if you have to personal guarantee a loan, really. It's really not that bad. Again, you have to decide what's your risk tolerance and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, you just have to manage the debt properly. And that's why no personal guarantee loan is so good, because you don't have to worry about it messing up your personal credit or affecting
Right.
your debt to income ratio and stuff like that, right? When it's on
Right.
just your business credit.
Right.
But once you start hitting your personal credit, you have to worry about that. Um,
Right.
but there's a lot of different creditors. I mean, Sam's Club, I mean, I talked about that like 1,000 times. You can just walk in and apply for Sam's Club. You don't have to worry
Right.
about them running your personal credit. You can apply for just like net 30 accounts, right?
Right.
Um, and I know a lot of people, some people don't really like the net 30 accounts because you kind of have to, you know, purchase something or order something. But if you really think about it, a lot of these companies, like for example, Quill and Uline,
Right.
they offer things that we use anyway. So you might as well
Hmm.
go on there and order some bulk toilet paper or
Right.
bulk tissue,
Order some
order
boxes. Yeah.
or yeah, right, some bleach or some paper for your business if you got a printer. Like
Right.
you might as well use it, right? And literally, you have 3 to 4 of those on your business credit, you already can build a paydex score or get a paydex score, a business credit score in like
Mhm.
less than 60 days. So
Wow.
nothing is wrong with using those small trade
Hmm.
lines.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love that. Love that. Love that. Thanks for sharing that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, because you see people really going through it, end up using their personal credit, and then now this thing, this large amount of, loan now is on their credit, and they're like scrambling, like, why did I do that? When no one teaching them you can use your business credit.
Hmm.
Now, explain to us, if you can, I'm sure you can, rather, I'm sure you can, when it comes to, because I know some of the other things I see people trying to figure out, and they'll just ask Facebook. You know, should I get a DBA? Should I get an LLC? Should I get an S Corp? You know, what's the difference in reference to getting business credit out of the different ones? Out of, you know, am I going to get something different because I have an LLC? I'm going to get something different because I have an S Corp? Like, you know, what's the difference?
That's a good question. So I'll say, first of all, that, I'm by no means, a tax professional or
Right, right,
anything like
right.
that, right? But when you go to apply for these things, it really doesn't matter the type of business entity that you have,
Okay.
really. It will ask you, if your business is a LLC, if it's a partnership, if it's a, as corporation, whatever, it really doesn't matter the type of business. As long as you have an actual business structure, that's fine. Sole proprietorship as well. So
Yeah.
as long as you have an actual registered business entity, you can
Mm-hmm.
apply for business credit, with your EIN number and, with your Dun and Bradstreet
Dun and
profile.
Bradstreet. Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome. All
ma'am.
right. Okay. I love it. Yeah, I'm learning tonight. This what it's for, honey.
And
I'm
that's what
learning.
it's all
I'm learning.
about,
That
for
is.
sure.
Yeah. So what do you say to people? Because, you know, like you, I still have my 9 to 5, you know, and what I'm doing. You know, what do you say to people who feel like the pressure of having to choose? You know, what do you say to them?
Man, that's a tough question.
Yeah, because you do it
That's
all. Wait, I probably can't ask you that question. You do it all. So wait a minute. Let me take that question back. She might do it.
no, but that's a tough question, but it's
Yeah.
good. One thing that I'll say though, everybody's situation is different, right?
Right.
And I know with the whole entrepreneurial buzz going on and everything, everybody's kind of like tempted to just kind of like get up and just leave their job, right? Like tomorrow.
Like
But
tomorrow.
right. But you have to really evaluate your life, right? Your finances and everything. Like if you are to quit your job tomorrow, is your business, the income from your business, going to be able to at least sustain or cover all your bills? Like, have you been having a constant cash flow maybe for the past few months where just your business income can cover your expenses? Maybe you'll be at a point to maybe quit your job, right? But if that's not the case, your business is not making enough money, you may really want to just really think about it, right?
Right.
Because I don't want to tell anybody, oh, yeah, just get up and do it, because it's already stressful to run a business, to start a business. Then, in addition to that, not able to pay your bills and all of
Right.
that, right? So
Mhm.
you have to just have a plan, okay? So if you feel like you really want to quit your job, just have a plan, okay? Give
Right.
yourself, I don't know, maybe a 2 month plan, a 3 month plan, and hustle, okay? The time that you have your job. So if you have to go into work at, I don't know, 10 a.m., get up earlier and
Right.
work your business, like really
Mm-hmm.
work your business, like
Mm-hmm.
you were like,
Let's
you messaged
go.
me, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to send you the thing. I'm just coming from work. Like,
Yeah.
you hustle, like, you know how to hustle.
Yeah.
And that's what you just have to do as an entrepreneur. If you're really trying to build a business, you have to give yourself time first, or put the time into your business first before
Right.
you put it into anybody else's business, right?
Right.
So if it means that you really have to hustle for the next 2 to 3 months, do it, right? Um, but I'm not gonna be here to tell you that, you should just, quit overnight, because it may not be easy. But if you feel like you're at a point,
Mm-hmm.
financially, that you may be able to do it, because here's the thing. Sometimes, our jobs take so much time, away from us,
Mm-hmm.
from our goals, our business, and all of that. As much as we may get up earlier or go to bed later, it's still taking away a lot of time. I
Right.
mean, you know, taking away maybe your self-care time and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, but at the same time, oh my gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Um,
Oh, Shibivia is me. Shibivia is me. You got the same name, child, for
oh
real.
my
Because
God,
yes,
right,
honey,
right, Shanice.
I'll
Oh my
tell you, I
God.
got you though. I got you.
It's the
So
adult ADHD, I'm
basically,
telling you.
So basically what you're saying is, which is great advice, use wisdom, evaluate your situation where you are, financially, to see if it would be a good idea, for you to leave your 9 to 5. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who they still work their 9 to 5 and they're like, this works for me. I don't dislike my job, but I also love being an entrepreneur. And then there's others that's like, listen, this job got 2 weeks. They're like, and I'm at it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, use your job as good leverage. I mean, if your
Right.
job probably can help you finance some other
Mm-hmm.
stuff for your business,
Yeah.
why not? Use the
Right.
income from your
Exactly.
job or the opportunity or whatever, like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, now I try to do that. I love to travel. Before I even
Yeah.
went in the flight industry, I was always a traveler. So now I just try to use my job as a way of traveling,
Love it,
and
honey.
so work on my business on my layovers, my
Mm-hmm.
hotel room, or if I'm out somewhere, I work my business during those times. So
Right.
yeah, honestly, maybe if it wasn't for that type of job, maybe I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be, really still working for somebody. But like, I like the flexibility somewhat that it gives me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm able to, yeah, still do my work on my businesses while I do that. So that's what I encourage others to do. See how you can use your business kind of somewhat of a stepping stool to
Mm-hmm.
help you grow your business, really.
Okay. Love that. Love
You
that.
know?
Love that. So now I'm
Mhm.
just want to pull back. I had another question, and my question just came back. So when doing the Airbnbs, how do you manage them when you don't live in that particular state or live near where you want to do it?
That's a great question. Listen, I'm the queen of automation,
Let's
okay?
go. Let's go.
Yeah, so listen, so if you have a certain amount of properties, like if you have a good bit, maybe 10 or more, you probably want to consider getting like a property management company. But if you just have a few, a handful, you can literally manage them yourself. So one of the things, gonna kind of share, some of the things that has worked for me and how I'm able to manage them, without even being there, right? For one, you want to get a really good hospitality crew, like cleaning crew, right?
Okay.
Somebody or a crew that you kind of want to have a backup as well, just in case. But somebody who is really good in terms of before he or she cleans the property, they're doing a full walkthrough, showing, sending you videos, pictures. Like my cleaner, she is like bomb. Like I really wish that I could have her everywhere. Like the one
Mm-hmm.
that I have in New Jersey, I should say, she's like phenomenal. I wish I could have her everywhere, but I can't. But she is so phenomenal. She'll send me videos and pictures before the cleaning, after the cleaning. Like she'll send me pictures of like the vacuum on the carpet and stuff like that, right? And if I need anything, if I'm out of stuff, and that's why it's good to kind of like have a list or set expectations for
Mm-hmm.
your cleaner. Like, listen, if I'm out of this, this, and this, like the basics that you never want to run out of, right? Like toilet paper and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, maybe your
Mm-hmm.
amenity stuff. If I'm out of these things, please let me know. It's really nice to have a cleaner as well who's able to or is willing to go pick those stuff up, and you just reimburse them and tip them and whichever, pay them for their services, right?
Right.
So it's basically, in a sense, kind of having somewhat of a property manager
Mm-hmm.
as well as a cleaner, because
Right.
your cleaner are the ones that are telling you first, as soon as something happens. So if there's something that doesn't look right, things are missing, damages, stuff like that, they're the first ones and they'll be able to tell you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that's very, very important, to have a solid cleaning crew, okay? Another thing is, if you have like, it's good to have like a ring doorbell or something like that, like some type of camera outside, right? So that way you can manage. So you have proof of everything, anything happens, right? You have proof of that. And, you'll be able to just monitor the activity of the
Right.
property, right? Or of the apartment or whichever. So that's key. Another thing is also, as it relates to, like checking in and checking out, the basics. You probably know this already, but for everybody else, you don't nobody has to physically be there to check
Right.
your guests in and check them out. You can use these Wi-Fi, keyless locks and stuff like that. You can change the passcode to your guests' last 4 digits of their phone number, stuff like that, right? So that your guests, they're able to check in and check out seamlessly, And another thing is also, I love automating, like automating my messaging. Like that's a huge thing as well, because when I say automation, I'm talking about like freeing up at least like 80% of your, the back and forth, because you're going to have people that inquire, people will book and stuff like that. And you may not be able to readily send them a message, right? Or even copy and paste like, oh,
Right.
you book, thanks for booking, blah, blah, blah. This is, such and such. It's just a lot of work. I remember when I just started, it was just a headache, even with one property, trying to message
Right.
everybody. When you have an automated system set in place, and there's different platforms that you can use to automate and sync your messaging, right? So that you're saving time.
Right.
And for me, if I'm traveling or something, I may not be able to get back to a guest. Now, there's some things, you obviously have to manually, right? You have to manually respond to a guest, right? But like I said, that's only 20%,
Right.
really, so
Okay.
um yeah, once you have those key things in place, you can also have a property manager as well. If you have one property, two property, you can choose to have a property manager, right? But just know that that costs more. But
Right.
if it's going to give you peace of mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it's going to give you peace of mind, then, absolutely do
Do
it.
it.
If you're just not the type that's going to be able to really manage stuff to a certain extent,
Right.
or if you're not able to, find a cleaning crew that is able to really somewhat act as your property manager, then by all means, invest in a property manager if it's going to give you that peace of mind. But those are some of the ways that you can manage your B&Bs, out of state.
Love that. Love that. And so when you say automated, you mean like there's what is it, like an app, or what is that?
Yeah, so you can use other platforms. So there's platforms that allows you to automate your messaging. So they have apps, and also just, just like online, you're able to sync your Airbnb listings, right? And you create responses. So that takes some time to set up. It takes some time to set up, but
Okay.
once it's set up, let me tell you, once it's set up, it's literally the best thing ever. Like right now, I don't know what I would do if I did not have like the automated system. And when I say automated system, I'm not even really talking about using the Airbnb platform itself. If you plan on using,
That was my next question.
you can maybe for one type of response or something, but I don't recommend using the Airbnb automated response.
Okay.
I suggest using another party, a third party that syncs with the Airbnb platform. That you can, so because there's stages to a reservation. So you have somebody may inquire, right? And then they may book, right? And then like days before the reservation, right? Maybe 2 days, 3 days, you want to send out um, things to note, right? Things that the guests should know, like important information before they log in, or before they check in, because you don't want the day of, and another thing is you don't want to send them too much information too early,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So there are phases. So if a person books today and they're not checking in until next month or 2 months from now, I don't need to send them a whole bunch of information, checking information, and all of that information today. They don't need that information today.
Right.
Checking information and stuff like that, you send them really the day of,
The day of.
like the codes and stuff like that. They get that the day of.
Mm-hmm.
And other little important things, you can probably send that to them 3 days before. And, as soon as they book or inquire, you want to acknowledge that, hey, I've gotten your inquiry and thank you for inquiring and stuff like that. So you don't really leave them hanging.
Right.
And I'm telling you, if you really think about that, it's so hard to keep up with that. To keep
Right.
up with, oh, somebody's checking in 3 days. I remember when I used to do that, it really drove me crazy, and I would forget. So, oh, somebody's checking in 3 days, or I have to give them the code, or I have to send them this and stuff like that. And another thing I recommend digital guidebooks as well. You can have a manual guidebook, but it's nice when your guests can have the guidebook like literally on their phones, right? So the guidebook basically guides them with from the moment they enter. So the kitchen, like everything about the kitchen, if there's anything special about how to operate like the TV and stuff like that, things to do in the area and
Wow.
attractions around the area. I mean, what I like to do is when, let's say for example, somebody books with me, I'll send them, I'll thank them for booking the place and let them know that, we're looking forward to hosting them, stuff like that. But in the meantime, we've provided a guidebook, a digital guidebook, and there'll be just like a short link that they can click on. So basically,
Oh,
they can start preparing themselves for the trip. So before they even arrive, they already know what are like the best places to eat around town, things to do, how to find the place, stuff like that. Just a whole bunch of stuff,
right.
public transportation, stuff like that. So I strongly suggest as well having a digital guidebook, and you can just put the link in the automated messaging as well. Um,
Nice.
I know it's kind of a lot, like, but
No, that sounds
um,
very cool.
yeah,
People,
automating
it sounds
stuff
like,
is amazing.
it's, you're serious about it and you care about, the well-being of the people that are booking with you. And that's how people should feel. They're traveling from wherever. They're booking for an Airbnb, which means they don't really know much of what's happening. It's just like, okay, let's see what happens. So it feels good when you have someone that's professional, timely, and is giving you information that you might not have even thought of. You're probably just a person who researches and you're looking for that stuff in the area. And then here comes, Shibivia sending you this link and you're like, ooh, oh, okay. I didn't even see this, that, and the other. So I think that's awesome. Now, is all this in the book?
Yes.
Nice,
That's
nice.
in the book of like the platforms that you can use to automate and stuff like that. Guidebooks, use
Awesome,
for your
awesome.
guidebook, pricing, stuff like that. Pricing is another thing too. I mean,
Yeah.
automating pricing, it's a game changer.
Right, right, right. All right. So, and the name of the book is?
The B&B Boss Basics, everything you need to know to start a short-term rental
Love
business.
it, love it, love it. And they can just find it on your link tree, or how do we find Miss Shibivia so we can use her services?
Yeah, so definitely my link tree will have like all my links of everything that I have, going
Mhm.
on. But on my Instagram, so my book is on Amazon as well.
Okay, so on
But
Amazon.
yeah, you can find it in my link tree, Instagram at the Fly Shy Girl. That's
Mhm.
THEFLYSHY. Let me say that again. But it's at the Fly Shy Girl. THEFLYSHYGYRL. So girl is spelled with a Y.
Okay. I knew it was
Yeah.
something. I was like, something's in there that's not regular. I'm like, I want to. I'm like, I'm glad she's saying it and not me.
Yeah, it's all
Fly
Y.
shy gal. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So, what's next for the fly shy gal? What's next for Miss Shibivia?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm just growing. My online course community is growing. But my goal is, like what you mentioned earlier about owning these properties. My
Mhm.
goal going forward is really to own, right? Because I'm really looking into using like the burst strategy and stuff like that. So I'll be buying below market
Right.
properties, right? And have it fixed up and all of that, and then do short-term rental with it because I mean the cash flow is
Yeah.
significantly higher. Let me get the summons in my face, but the cash flow is significantly higher with short-term rentals than long-term rentals. I may do a bit of that too, but my ultimate goal is to just invest in these properties going forward, really.
Right. Love, 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 love that. All right. So, listen, no excuses, people. Miss Shibivia is a flight attendant. She is a wife. She travels a lot. She is giving you all the deep. She's giving you all the, what should I call? What we call it? All the
The gems.
jewels. Yeah,
Yeah,
all the gems, okay? To
yeah.
be, successful in the Airbnb world. Um, I love that you said, don't go through Airbnb platform and to have, an outside entity. I felt that that was a great jewel. I know there's other platforms. And matter of fact, do you use any other platforms besides Airbnb? I know there's Peerspace and what is it, VRBO also. Do you use all of them? How do you furnish all these properties? That was the other one I meant to ask you.
So to answer your first question,
Mhm.
I've used Furnished Finder as well. It's not a common one. I guess a lot of people don't know about it, but it's
Mhm.
somewhat getting popular. But
Okay.
Furnished Finder is really used for long-term tenants. So a lot of travel nurses use Furnished Finder.
Gotcha.
So travel nurses that are in the area on like assignment, they're looking for somewhere to stay. They
Mhm.
use Furnished Finders. Sometimes just people who are on just any work assignment, contractors and whichever, right? And you're basically hosting a long-term, a short-term tenant in a sense, right? Usually
Right.
for up to like 90 days or more. Typically, that's like the time. Furnish Finder is a great platform as well. It's easy to sign up for. I believe you pay like $99 for the year
Mhm.
per listing. And after that,
Nice.
as opposed to Airbnb, they don't deal with the payment part, right? The payment processing. So they have a program where you can pay, I think, $25 for like a lease contract or something like that, or background check, I should say. So you can perform background check on your tenants, which is
Wow.
great.
Yeah.
In addition to that, you process your own payments. So what that means for you is that you get 100% really of the payment, right?
Nice.
So yeah, all you're paying is just $99 for the year. So Furnish Finder is one platform that you can use.
Awesome.
Yeah, and to answer your other question, oh, furnishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Listen, let me tell you, my husband and I, we don't play around with, because right now, sometimes my husband does that. He does like furniture flipping on the side.
Mhm.
So we will get secondhand furniture from like a thrift store or just
Right.
on Facebook Marketplace. People will be selling like bar stools for like $30, $10, and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? And we will refurbish it. So we will sand it down or respray paint it or whatever. So we're not afraid of getting secondhand stuff from like Facebook Marketplace, from the thrift store, and all of that, and refurbish it and make it nice, and you would never know.
I love that you guys are a
Yeah,
team. Yes, guys.
absolutely.
And how
So
important
don't
is
be afraid
that?
to, huh?
Go ahead. You said don't be afraid.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, that to people, don't be afraid to go out there and purchase secondhand stuff. I mean, if you're pretty handy and stuff like that, you can refurbish it, make it nice, so you're paying significantly less than, going out there and getting something really expensive, spending a lot of money, hundreds of dollars in just a couch, when you can
Yeah.
literally like a few months ago, we literally get a brand new couch. The couch was literally brand new. The lady just really wanted a new couch because she just moved into a new space or something, and she sold it for $30. And that couch was looked so good. We ended up
Wow.
selling it back for, I don't know, maybe like 100 and something, or maybe like something like that. We ended up making a profit
Right.
from that couch. And this is after we've already used it for Airbnb. So don't be afraid to use those platforms. Go to the thrift store, if you want to be frugal, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, everything she just said, that's what I'm doing for my space for the podcast. Because yeah, it's real out here. So talk to us about the podcast.
Yeah, so that's steadily growing. I started in November last year, right? So I started November last year, and the goal of my podcast is really to share, side hustle and business gems. So anything that will really help people to enhance their lives, to enhance their business and grow their business, right? So that's the goal of the podcast. Also, recently I started highlighting other women entrepreneurs because that's really the goal of the podcast
Yeah.
as well. I want to do more of that, and so that's what I'm working on to interview more women entrepreneurs.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, tell us
Yeah.
the name of this podcast and where can we
The
find it?
Legally Clueless Entrepreneur.
Yeah,
You
baby.
can pretty much find it everywhere. You can find you can find it on Apple, yeah, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Castbox, I think, Anchor, uh, Wisdom, those other ones. But like the main platforms, Apple, Spotify, and Google Play or Google Podcast, you can
Awesome.
find it. It's the Legally Clueless Entrepreneur.
Love it, love it, love it. Listen, guys, Miss Shibivia, Bryant, thank you so much for coming on and closing out this amazing Women's History Month of 2022. Our first, she's my Shero. I just said our first. I think I might have to make this annual next year for She Is My Shero series. This was very, very informative. I love your energy, your beauty. Everything is just everything. Okay. Thank you for so many jewels. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you go on Amazon either right now or go on her Instagram page, The Fly Shy Gal, and tap that link tree, order her book, and get all these jewels. Listen, there's so many ways to make money. There's so many ways to make money. You just have to find it. You have to do your due diligence and make it happen for yourself. But Shibivia literally gave us so many jewels just in this 1 hour, everybody. So do yourself a favor. Go and purchase that book off Amazon. Make sure you go and follow her, The Fly Shy Girl, on Instagram. Make sure you go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the platforms, and check out, what is it again?
My podcast?
Yes.
Oh, the Legally Clueless Entrepreneur.
The Legally Cool. I don't know why I can't say that together. The Legally Clueless Entrepreneur. Listen, she's so amazing. I would not have her up here if she wasn't. Great energy. She has no problem sharing information. A question is a question. The most she can tell you is no, but she probably won't. But please, 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 sir, please, ma'am, reach out to her if you want to learn more about Airbnbs, if you want to learn more about flipping furniture. I love that. That was good. That was good. I didn't even know she'd do that. How about that? She's gonna help you save some coins while you make coins. Hello. I love it, love it, love it, love it. But yes, Shibivia, thank you so much, for saying yes. I really, truly appreciate you. And I hope that, we have more people that will, hear what's being said on tonight and that they will reach out to you, especially if they are tired of the 9 to 5 and it isn't, doing much for them financially, or it is taking up a lot of their time and they don't feel like their worth is being, seen or anything. If that is the case for you, whoever you are, reach out to Shibivia to see all that she is doing. She is doing this while being a flight attendant, so there's no excuses. If you ain't got nothing much going on, you better get out here and make this Airbnb money. You better get out here and see about this business credit. Okay, let's learn these things and do what we need to do for ourselves. But once again, Shibivia, thank you so much for blessing this platform. I hope to have you on again because I know there's going to be other great things coming for you because you don't be playing, honey.
Listen, thank you so much for having me. I love the energy. I already told you that before. So it's been an honor to be here. I was happy to be here and to be able to share whatever value and information, as much as possible. So thanks for having me. I'm happy that we were able to make it happen. So
yes, make it happen, honey. Make it happen. And huge shout out to your husband. Listen, we love the love, honey. We love the love. I'm gonna have to have both of y'all come up on here maybe in a few months or so to tell us how you do it all together. Because listen, I'm newly married. We're pushing different things as well together. And so listen, iron sharpens iron. We have to be able to be open and teach each other certain things if we're doing it well and not feel any type of way about it. You know what I mean? So, thank you. And shout out to your husband.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, listen, everybody, be sure also to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hot Mic with Lady She Podcast. I am getting it together. Y'all pray for a sister, okay? Don't talk about me. Pray for me, okay? I'm getting there. I am getting there, okay? Soon I will be on these other platforms being bold. I'm trying to get all the Shibivia energy, okay? And get myself together. Get myself together and get on these other platforms. Amen. So yes, once again, Shibivia, thank you so much. Everyone, please follow her on social media. Get the ebook. Get the book. Get the book. Okay. Get the book. And whatever she is doing, you want to learn about building business credit, do that. Starting an Air BNB, she got you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your night. Good night.